Hello, friends and enemies. I'm back. Been a while. Today I thought we would talk briefly-ish about the Game Awards that just happened over the weekend. I wasn't able to watch live because it was during daylight hours on a work day for me in Japan, so I had to watch the stream archive later, which is actually really nice because it meant I could just fast forward through everything. I was like, oh, you're gonna talk about Call of Duty winning mobile games? I don't care. You know, I could fast forward and just, you know, view the trailers and the big awards and what have you. Now, we're not gonna get into talking about whether or not I think the Game Awards really does what they claim to do, which is celebrate games. I think that there's some there's some discussion to be had about, like, you know, like, I mean, the Game Awards is really young, right? This is only like the 5th year, so like maybe they'll find their stride later. You know, they do their best. That sounded like way more cryptic than I meant it to be, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so first I'm gonna talk about some of the actual, like, big awards where, like, the guys came up and, like, got a trophy that we witnessed and all that. Okay, so first of all, best narrative going to Disco Elysium. Look, there were some like heavy hitters in that category, but if Disco Elysium did not take home best narrative, I was gonna cry foul, because oh my god, like the nature, like, if you are not familiar with the incredibly complex nature of Disco Elysium, and, you know, like, the fact that most of the game is fucking text, yeah, go, I implore you to go educate yourself about this game. I'm gonna, one day, I'm gonna sit down with it, and it's going to eat up a lot of my time, but for right now, I just remember when it was announced, I was like, oh, that sounds cool, and then I learned a little more about it, and I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, and then, once it was out, I really wrapped my head around all of the threads and all the different ways, and, like, how your choices fucking matter, down to the tiniest little, oh my gosh, there's just this infinite ways that you could form your story here. I don't know, it's so cool. That maybe I'm overhyping it, I don't know, but they definitely deserve that win regardless. Next, let's talk about best action game. Now, when I saw the nominees, I was like, oh, Devil May Cry should get it, but Gears is probably gonna get it, because, I mean, Gears was probably good, right? And everybody loves Gears, and I've never played any Gears games, so I don't know. So, so Gears will probably take it, right? Because it's like Gears number 5, and I don't know, I feel like 5 must be a big finale. I don't know, there's more Gears coming. I'm clueless. Anyway, I just assumed that there's Devil May Cry would not take that, and it totally took it. Jackpot! DMC is back indeed. I remember when they first announced Devil May Cry 5, I was like, You play with my heart, and I don't remember the words. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't play DMC. I played the demo, and I was down. I actually was totally fine with the actual play, and I liked a lot of the art direction and stuff. But just, it was more like things that were said, and, you know, the implications that were made of, like, I don't know, it just rubbing fans the wrong way. You know, everything, like, rubbed the old fans the wrong way and did not particularly draw in new fans, which was the whole point of DMC. Because, you know, it's a very misguided thing that Japanese companies try to do. We gotta appeal to the West. I'm very excited about the future of Devil May Cry now. Oh yeah, I was trying to tell the story of when it was first announced, I didn't really care. Then people were getting hype over this one trailer. I remember they were getting really, really hype. And then screaming about Dante. And I was like, what? Is Dante actually in it? Like, I really had no I had paid so little attention. And so I finally sat down, and when I remember watching that trailer, and he shows up at the end on his fucking bike, and I had to like put in the search bar. I was like, is that really Dante? I was trying to figure out, I was like, is that really Dante? Is it really like the real Dante? Is that my Dante? No. Anyway, the Dante we know and love. And yeah, no, it just seems like it definitely deserves that nod. Okay, next, I just wanted to briefly comment on games for impact as a genre. Has that always been a genre? I remember so little about the Game Awards. They're so unmemorable every year. Like, literally the only thing I remember about any of the Game Awards before this one is when they released the original super tiny short teaser for Shadows Die Twice, and everyone and their dog started making videos about why it's going to be Bloodborne 2 and why it's not going to be Bloodborne 2, and then it was Sekiro, so you know. Anyway, interesting. I mean, I like that as a genre. Games for impact. I like it. It does open a bit of a can of worms of like what games are really trying to say, but yeah, it's fine. We won't talk about that today. Best game direction given to good old Hideo Kojima. He deserves it. Look, while I have followed Kojima's work for a long time and I have a lot of respect for him as a director, you know, his games have never not lacked problematic elements. Like, there are things that, you know, are definitely issues in games that I personally have issues with, that other people have issues with. Even Death Stranding, like, there's some stuff coming out in the flavor text where it's like, that's not what an asexual is, and I'm one, so I should know. He has a problem with cherry picking information and not necessarily like wanting to include something but then not always fully understanding it before he includes it, and everybody pats him on the back for it, and it's like, I don't know. But, you know, as far as the cinematic nature, like literally cinematography, like the way that he frames his games is very much like a movie. And, you know, people have joked for years about his long-ass cutscenes, why doesn't he just make movies? But you know what? You want to know who else does that, but really should just get out of the game business? Fucking David Cage. Get out. You make terrible games. Sorry, though. Detroit succeeded despite you, not because of you. We kind of know that after talking to all the actors involved in it. We kind of know that. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But yeah, I mean, it's a deserved nod to him, you know, and he wasn't starting from scratch, I would say. He had too much of a rock star status, but he was still starting a new company from the ground up. Has worked for 4 years on this game. Frankly, I was sick of hearing about it by the time it actually came out. No, I have not played it. By the time I finally get around to that, probably no one will be playing anymore or care, but whatever. I'm sure I'll be as addicted to, you know, making roads and stuff as if there's that kind of elements in it. I don't care about any of the actors in it. I don't. You could put anybody in that game, I wouldn't give a fuck. And that's not to be like shade on them. I just don't care about the name dropping. I just don't. Great, he brought all these people together. Super. I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't care. Game of the year. Sekiro. Unexpected. Definitely thought Death Stranding was going to take that based on my social media feed for the last 2 months-ish, month and a half. But, you know, I mean, didn't they snub Dark Souls 3? Dark Souls 3 didn't get it. I don't remember who got it over Dark Souls 3. So unmemorable. This show is so unmemorable. We will forget all about it by the new year. Which is why I'm making a video about it this time, because we fucking forget. So Sekiro getting it. Awesome. From Software dissolves. What? From Software deserves this kind of nod. They really do. They work hard. I would argue they're probably, like, based on what I know about them, they are really not that big of a company in the grand scheme of things. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've grown in the last few years, but they always seem like they're actually a pretty small ship, and they do what they do, and they're the only ones who do quite what they do, I would argue. At least do it well. that's that, really. Like, it's like, yay, it got it. It deserved it. Cool. Now, like, little things. I have my notes here. Other notes on the other side, ignore those. Have nothing to do with this. Warframe, cool new thing. I mean, I like Warframe. It's free. Like, go try it if you haven't. It's a fun time. Ikumi Nakahara was adorable as always, even though she totally like showed who the winner was on accident, like, for a second. Luckily, she was about to announce it. It wasn't like early or anything, but you know, she's just such a cool artist, such a cool person. Like, yay, we got to see more Ikumi. Oh, Reggie giving Mr. Reggie Fils-Am giving some serious like talk about the indie games are the most important category at this award show, at an award show like this, because the indies are the most important. Everybody here, all y'all, all you big names, you used to be indies. Screw you, you used to be indies. And we need to celebrate and promote indies. And I was like, you know, I mean, obviously it was a very prepared speech and everything, but it, like, I felt like it had heart. I was down. I was like, yeah, Reggie, you tell them. Indies are important. Without indies, like, man, gaming would be boring. Okay, so 2 little other things I want to talk about that were not like world premieres or anything, and actually one of them wasn't even at the game show, but just before, but I want to use this opportunity to talk about. First, Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if I've mentioned on the channel in the last year even. I don't know. Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Look, I was kind of rolling my eyes from the beginning because I was like, really? We're gonna remake this one? Okay, well, what about the other ones? Like, also deserve like a fancy boost. Maybe they'll get them at some point. Who knows? But I just was not that on board with it, and then it was taking so long. I was like really not on board with it, and I just, like, for the longest time, and I think Kara shared my sentiment in this, actually. We were both, well, actually, I know she did, because she's a hardcore fan of 6, and she was tired of hearing about all this stuff with 7. I'm a weirdo who likes 12 the best, so, like, you don't have to listen to my opinion necessarily, but, you know, that's just me. So, yeah, I don't know. For a long time, just didn't care. Trailers, But, honestly, in the last couple of months, between some of the trailers and some of the things that have been shown and talked about, I'm super on board now. They're not losing any of the length. Oh my god, this game is so huge. Everyone who's complaining about it being episodic, holy crap, do you remember how big this game was? It's massive. It's massive. There's so many parts to it and so many side things. It's huge. So you've got that. You got that going on. Okay. Then you have, like, things hinted in some of the trailers of, wow, well, we actually get to see that happen instead of it just being implied or talked about. That would be cool. Getting to actually maybe even do experience, like play, fight, do those scenes, you know, be in that. Who knows? Maybe I can't remember if that's just frankly, it's been a while. I can't remember if that was like just something people thought might happen or if it was actually hinted at. I don't know. Don't care. That's cool. I'm down. We're not just making it look fancy. We're also, you know, trying to make it an experience that is going to be like playing it again for the first time, basically. I that's the impression I get. You get to re-experience it, truly experience it as though it's all new, even though you know everything that's coming. I don't know. That's the impression I get. I'm on board with it these days. I'm down. It wasn't, maybe they mentioned it. I was fast forwarding through so much crap. It's not, I don't think it was talked about at the Game Awards at all, but the announcement came out just before about Resident Evil 3. I was like, oh, you sons of bitches. I knew they were going to announce it this year. I knew they were going to announce it. And I was like, if they aren't already working on it, they're gonna at least announce it. And look at that, it's coming out in March. Oh man. It's already ready to go. So there's that. I mean, yay, I'm down. Nemi having a nose is weird, I agree. It does kind of mess with his face, but like I'm okay with it. Carlos looks cool. I like how they've changed him around. Jill looks alright. I'm not in love with the design, but I hate it. All of the Russian guys look how you would expect them to. They don't look any different. I knew that they were gonna do 3. There was no doubt in my mind. Didn't know it was gonna come out in March. I thought like maybe by next holiday season, but yeah, nope. It's already ready to go. Oh wait, before I forget, Sons of the Forest. I totally forgot to mention this. Sons of the Forest. I'll admit, there was something about at the very beginning. I was like, what is this? What game is this? But there were in the back of my mind a little ping went off, and I was like, the forest? And then the weird, creepy, kind of sexualized ballerina little girl shows up, and she's got like multiple legs, and I was like, the forest? Like my brain was like, bing, and I saw the axe, and I was like, the forest? Is this, or is this just something else that is kind of a similar? And then it showed all the creeps in the cave, and I was like, the forest, and it was like Sons of the Forest, and I was like, it's a forest. Oh my god, I'm down. Cool, interested. So now let's get into the things that I was actually hyped for, that actually made me really excited to see. One of which isn't even a game, I'll be honest. So number 3 of the things I got hyped for. This is 3 working our way up to first place, I guess. Didn't expect to see this. Was super hyped to see this. I saw, so like the trailer starts and it's kind of cel shaded, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what this is. And as the camera like pulls back, I started to put 2 and 2 together, and then I realized, I was like, Big B? Is that Big B? And then yeah, like Snow, I realized it's Snow talking to him, and it's like Wolf Among Us 2. I was like, yeah, oh my god, yes! I lost my mind. I was super stoked to actually see a trailer for this existing. Maybe I'm out of the loop. I didn't realize that this was a thing that I could potentially see in the near future at any time. I must be really out of the loop, because I didn't know. Yeah, I lost my mind. I loved the first Wolf Among Us. I admittedly have never read the Fables comics. I probably should. They seem really cool, but I adored the first game. It includes my favorite version of Bloody Mary ever in any form of media. She's awesome. Big B, Big B is great. Like, the big bad wolf is also just such a good trope for that particular character and kind of a noirish situation. Like, it's that, the guy, the detective-ish guy, whatever. The big bad wolf, the guy who's not bad but not good either, like PI, I don't know. Anyway, it's a great setup in the first place. Number 2 isn't even a game. It was one of the people presenting people's Muppets. Holy crap, the Muppets were there. I grew up on the Muppets. I will never not love the Muppets. Muppet Show, Muppet Babies, Muppet Christmas Carol, you name it. I will always love the Muppets. And I love Beaker and Honeydew. And there was I love that Honeydew's lobby joke fell flat and everybody didn't get it. I got it, Honeydew. It's hilarious. There's some goofy old school Muppet humor in there. It was great. And then it went into the Untitled Beaker game, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is so hilarious. And then the Goose Muppet showed up. And I lost my damn mind. Goose Muppet. This would have been my favorite part of the entire show if it wasn't for number 1, which we're gonna get to. And there's a reason why. It's number 1. Okay. The Goose Muppet, perfect, integration, old Muppet style of grabbing the goose and trying to make him be quiet and stop it, goose. I don't know how to. Oops, sorry. I don't know how to articulate it exactly. But if you watch old Muppet Show stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Just all those little kind of old physical comedies, vaudeville-ish style little things. Yeah. That was great. They were announcing Oh gosh, I forget. They were announcing one of the awards, and Greece won. And at the end of the Greece directors, giving their acceptance speech and stuff, there was like an echoing honk. That shit was like a shout out. It was great. I don't know. I love the Untitled Goose Game. The goose is wonderful. The Muppets are wonderful. Wonderful combination. Whoever came up with that is a genius. It was great. Number 1. Hellblade's really cool. And the fact that we get to have a Hellblade 2 is really cool. But obnoxiousness of it potentially being like Xbox exclusive aside, sorry, I love Hellblade, but it doesn't have the kind of clout to survive being a single platform game. Sorry, that's just like, that's history. That's video game history. Exclusives, true exclusives are super rare, and it behooves you to not make your game exclusive if you want to reach the most amount of people and make the most amount of sales so that you can continue making games, especially this day and age. Anyway, that is okay. I've said my piece on that. Can put that aside. I saw the announcement from HEILUNG before I ever saw the trailer, so I knew that this was there. And hilariously, this is one of the first world premieres of the thing. It was like really early on, but this is my number 1 thing of the night. Not just because Hellblade is cool, Senua is cool, that Ninja Theory gets to make another one, but I am, as you might have noticed, a big HEILUNG fan. I even got to see them live when I visited Germany last month. I was at the show in Kiel. I got to see them, and it was wonderful, and I could go on and on about that. If you are not familiar with this performance group, they're not a traditional band. There's a reason why, they're even though the band's name is HEILUNG, that they go by amplified history on all of the social media. They do a very unique thing with their music, and if the music you heard in the Hellblade 2 trailer piqued your interest, well, lucky you. That's an existing track. They've been performing that track since at least 2007. Was in my time on Ofnir? I don't remember now. I'm blanking. I'm totally blanking. But you can just go, and they've got 2 albums plus a live album. I highly recommend the live album. You can watch the show where the live album was performed. You can watch that entire show for free on YouTube on their official account. It was the Castle Fest show back in 2017. Not only, because I had wondered when they made the announcement saying that they were going to be collaborating with Ninja Theory to provide music. Now, I don't know if that means that they're going to offer existing tracks that already exist to be used in the game, or if that means that they're actually going to make new tracks for the game. I don't know what that means exactly, but either way, it's cool. It's a perfect combination considering the setting of Hellblade. I mean, the trailer's really hype to begin with. It's super cool looking. You're like, woo, this looks awesome. And then Senua starts singing, Kai Faust's throat singing starts coming out of Senua. And I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool, yay! And the song they used, that song, you can just go, oh, I'm gonna link in the description. I'm gonna put links in the description for HEILUNG stuff, so that you guys you don't even have to search. If you're on a device where you can see the description, you can just go and you can click. Otherwise, just search. I'll put it on the screen. If you have any interest in what you heard in that trailer, I highly recommend you go check out their work. They are beginning to get serious momentum in the live scene. Ofnir was their first album. It was out for 2 years before they ever did a live in 2017. And nowadays, they've been doing multiple European tours, and they're about to do a US tour, a stateside tour. It's super cool. Please, I implore you, if you like what you hear, go support them. Go support them. They deserve it. But going back to the whole exclusivity thing, like, cross fingers they'll at least release it on PC, because yeah, it's not. I'm assuming it's a move that was made for funding, possibly. But it's not an A+ maneuver. Exclusives need to die. They just do. I don't mind if a game is exclusive upon release. If you want to hype your game and say that for at least the first 6 months to a year, like, there's not going to be any other ports, we're still optimizing them or whatever. If you really want to play it right out the gate, you know, you'll have to have this system or whatever. You want to play it that way, like, you know, I'm not gonna stop you, because at least that's better than keeping it exclusive forever. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of exclusives that have stayed exclusive in recent years, and the only one that comes to mind off the top of my head is Bloodborne, and I always thought that was dumb. I always thought that they should have at least done a PC port. I just always thought that that wasn't... That while I understood the move, like, I don't know, I just don't think it's a good move to be exclusive to a system. Because these days, like, either you are full, you know, brand loyalty to one or two, you know, consoles, and that's what you're gonna stick with, you're PC only, or PC mixed, like I am. And then there's the people who just buy every system anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know, they're just gonna buy whichever one looks best to them. Because sometimes, you know, one port is better than another. You know, I think that's fair enough, you know, because of optimization and all that. But I don't know. I don't want to I'm getting off on that tangent again. I said I would put it aside. I'm getting off on that tangent again. But I really want Hellblade 2 to have the most chance for the most impact and reaching the most people, and staying Xbox exclusive would not be good for them. So hopefully that's not gonna stay that way. So my top 3 things from the Game Awards 2019: Big Wolf, Muppets with a Goose, and there you have it. Yeah, because Game Awards are so forgettable, but I had, especially because of Hellblade, I had things I wanted to talk about. I really hope that basketball isn't picking up on the mic. Oh my gosh, kids, why you gotta make so much noise? So I better go ahead and wrap this up. I have some horror games shortlisted to potentially do little solo LPs of. Give that a shot. We'll see how it goes. You guys, please give me feedback, because I want to know what you like to see, what you like to hear, that kind of thing. Signing off for now. Hopefully you two are as bemused by the goose as I was, and if not, what's wrong with you? No, I'm kidding. So, yeah, signing off for now, and cross fingers I see you sooner than later.